Now at 5, tens of thousands of attendees at the Burning Man Festival are still looking to escape after bad weather conditions. Plus, we'll take a look at local Labor Day celebrations and
while many take off for the Labor Day holiday, presidential hopefuls are on for the unofficial start to campaign season. I'm Skyler Henry in Washington with President Biden's pitch to labor unions.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Joplin police released the names of 2 people killed in a crash involving 3 motorcycles Saturday night. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Elise Snowy. Police say 2 motorcyclists, 18-year-old Colton Goodard of Welch, Oklahoma, and 20-year-old Taryn Morris of Miami, were recklessly speeding down Main Street when they ran into another motorcyclist, 60-year-old Mark McGowan of Miami. Morris and McGowan died in the crash. Goodard was not hurt, but has been charged with 2 counts of felony murder. Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty joins us.
Well, of course, it turned out to be a hot one for us today. Temperatures, most of us mid-90s, even some upper 90s out there. A little bit cooler on the Missouri side because we've had some clouds. We've had some scattered showers and thunderstorms. Everybody else is dry. It's kind of windy. We have those southerly winds, which have been kicking in. It's going to stay kind of breezy as we go through the next few days. Look at our heat indices. It feels like mid to upper 90s across the region. Still a few isolated thunderstorms on the Missouri side, but most of us dry as we drop back through the 90s, 80s, eventually into the 70s. And you can see these guys, mainly our eastern counties, still a couple little tiny ones, but again, most of you are going to stay dry as we go through the evening hours. We'll drop back into the 80s, eventually into the 70s. More thunderstorm chances in the forecast. We're going to look at that here in just a little bit.
For the Labor Day holiday, Uniontown, Kansas hosted their annual Old Settlers Picnic. The picnic celebrated 117 years with multiple events over the course of the weekend. Hundreds were in attendance as well, all laughing and enjoying the time with community for the holiday.
It's just always been fun. All the community gets together, has a good time, has a picnic in the park. We have vendors. We had a parade already, so we have a car show going on and just all kinds of fun stuff.
For additional information about next year's picnic or how to be a part of the events, you can check out their Facebook page. School is out for the Labor Day holiday, and some Joplin students spent the afternoon skating. Roller City Entertainment hosted Mania Monday as a way to provide some fun on their day off while staying active.
We like to offer this kind of event because, school's out. We want to offer a safe and fun experience for the kids and the families in Joplin.
The roller rink offered half-price admissions for Monday Mania. And a look at stories going on in the country. The U.S. observes Labor Day as a holiday that celebrates workers. It is also the unofficial end of summer and every 4 years an unofficial kickoff to the presidential campaign. Skyler Henry has more details from the White House.
Arriving in Philadelphia for a Labor Day event, President Biden says he's not worried auto workers will go on strike. The president is spending this Labor Day the same way he spends most, surrounded by union workers. While this appearance at the AFL-CIO annual Tri-State Labor event is an official White House stop, President Biden has been able to count on strong union support during his campaigns.
The only thing that comes today is a little bit of wisdom. I've been doing this longer than anybody, and guess what? I'm going to continue to do it with your help.
Labor Day is traditionally the unofficial kickoff to presidential campaigns. Republican presidential hopefuls are taking advantage of the holiday by spending time with voters.
I think the way we're going to succeed is we can't just criticize the so-called radical Biden agenda. Of course, there's everything in the world wrong with it. But that's not enough. That's why I think that's actually why we didn't succeed in 2022.
Vivek Ramaswamy is spending the day campaigning in New Hampshire.
I'm out shopping candidates, but I just intrigued with Vivek.
Former Vice President Mike Pence is also in New Hampshire with a few events on the campaign trail. Skyler Henry, CBS News, the White House.
The Iowa caucuses are just 133 days away and will be held on January 15th. Tens of thousands of attendees at this year's Burning Man Festival are monitoring the conditions today after being trapped in a Nevada desert because of weather. Elise Preston reports from Reno Tahoe International Airport, where many festival goers would like to get a flight out.
With plastic bags wrapped around their shoes, or without any shoes at all. Tens of thousands of revelers attending the annual Burning Man Festival in the Nevada desert have been trudging through ankle-deep mud in search of relief. After downpours flooded the region over the weekend, leaving porta potties unusable and limiting access to food and water.
We are not allowed out of the playa. The gates are locked.
The some 70,000 attendees were advised to shelter in place and ration supplies.
But you can see the clouds behind me. It's still raining.
Sherilyn Lee is taking refuge in her RV. She showed us her camp in the surrounding area.
For some camps, yes, food, water, ice would be a luxury.
Satellite images show just how massive the annual Counterculture Festival is. Thousands of artists, activists, and others attend every year. The Burning Man ethos involves taking everything with you and leaving no trace. DJ Diplo and comedian Chris Rock shared on social media that they walked several miles in the mud before being rescued in a pickup truck.
Okay, this is our attempt to flee.
Many others also made the muddy trek toward the main road, including first-time so-called burner Manny Kess from New York, who decided to leave early.
So after going back and forth for a couple of hours, I'm like, listen, I'm just going to go.
Kess says despite the setbacks, spirits remain high as Burning Man comes to a close.
People are just trying to say, hey, be careful, conserve, and we will get through this together.
Officials have postponed the festival's main ceremony from last night to tonight, the traditional burning of the wooden figure known as the Man. Elise Preston, CBS News, Reno, Nevada.
Still ahead, U.S. sunscreens might not be as effective as they could be.
Skin cancer is the most common form of cancer in the U.S., but some sunscreens available here may offer less protection than those available overseas. I'm Haley Ott with the push to change that.
And next in Health Watch, AI could help spread information about COVID. Topping today's Health Watch, Labor Day marks the unofficial end of summer, but that doesn't mean you should put the sunscreen away. While there are so many to choose from, there's a push to change the products because they may not be as effective as the sun protection available in other countries. Reporter Haley Ott has more.
Before she heads out to walk her dog, Caroline says she always puts on sunscreen.
I've had skin cancer run in my family, so it's just something that's like high priority.
Sunscreen protects against skin cancer as well as skin aging, but a 2017 study from Memorial Sloan Kettering found around half of products in the U.S. offered less protection from harmful UV rays than versions from Europe. Dermatologist Dr. Anthony Rossi says that's because fewer active ingredients are approved in the U.S.
There are more widely available chemical filters that actually have a broader range of protection, both against the UVA and UVB.
It's been more than 2 decades since a new chemical UV filter for sunscreen was approved in the U.S. Sunscreen here is regulated as a drug, which means potential new ingredients undergo extensive safety and efficacy testing. Sunscreen in other parts of the world is regulated as a cosmetic, a much simpler process.
I would definitely like to see that those ingredients that are available in the European Union and in Asia to be tested here and be able to be used in our formulations here.
In New York, some lawmakers and advocates are calling for reform to make approving new sunscreen ingredients easier.
I think that campaign is really bringing awareness, photo protection and protection against skin cancer, but also the need for a faster approval process.
In the meantime, Dr. Rossi says U.S. broad-spectrum sunscreens still offer great protection, so the best way to stay safe in the sun is to keep reapplying. Haley Ott, CBS News, New York.
The authors of the 2017 study acknowledged that a limitation of their study is that it only evaluated a small number of sunscreen products. Researchers at UCLA are making progress understanding why tumors that have spread to the brain from other parts of the body respond to immunotherapy, while glioblastoma, a cancer that originates in the brain, does not. They found it's linked to the activation of T cells that help fight cancer, and will use this discovery to develop more effective therapies. AI may help spread the word about the safety of COVID vaccines. A new study in Spain finds the AI tool known as ChatGPT is effectively debunking myths and fake stories about the vaccines. Researchers say it is a reliable source of non-technical information, especially for people who aren't doctors or scientists. And patients with lung conditions such as asthma or COPD face even greater risks from climate change. According to a new report published in the European Respiratory Journal, heat waves and wildfires can intensify breathing issues, especially for children and the elderly. Researchers are urging governments around the world to reduce emissions of greenhouse gases. And that's a look at today's health news. A little later, skip lagging is becoming more popular and airlines are taking notice.
Plus, we have some thunderstorms in the forecast. We're going to be checking that out coming up next. Well, it definitely turned out to be a hot Labor Day, but I hope you had a great and safe holiday weekend. Temperatures, they really started to heat up a bit over the past couple days. Clear skies right now, nice shot, Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. We did get a few scattered thunderstorms that got going, especially in southwestern Missouri, but most of us have ended up staying dry. You can see these little guys kind of lifting off toward the north as we have gone through the past couple hours or so. There's still a couple random little tiny isolated showers, but most of us are dry. Most of us are going to stay dry as we go through the evening hours. But this has affected the temperatures. You can see quite a bit cooler eastern counties, Neosho, Monette, Stockton sitting at 82. And then you bounce right back into low to mid 90s once you get into our western counties. Plus a little bit humid, so a little bit of a heat index. It feels like it's about 95 to 97 degrees. We can go outside here, 7th and Rangeland sitting at 92, southerly winds at about 10, humidity is at 42%, little breezy as well, kind of like a hot hair dryer as temperatures well into the 90s, but we have those southerly winds at about 10 to 20. It's going to stay breezy tonight and then once again as we go into the daytime hours tomorrow. If you're getting out this evening, we'll slide back through the 90s, 80s, 70s down to 79 by midnight, and then we'll bottom out right around 70 degrees later on tonight. All right, so this weak little wave lifting north, causing showers and thunderstorms. Our next wave building out across the western high plains. So as this pushes to the north, this one's going to slide in, giving us better chances for showers and thunderstorms as we go into Tuesday evening. Let's go through time for us tonight, starting off in the morning at about 5 o'clock in the morning. Temperatures sitting mainly into the mid 70s. A few scattered showers, a few scattered little thunderstorms will try to pop up tomorrow morning, but most of us are just going to have cloudy skies. As we go into the afternoon, we do warm into the mid 90s. We could get some scattered thunderstorms trying to get going in our southern counties, mainly along and south of Interstate 44, but they're going to be very scattered as we go into tomorrow evening. Any showers and thunderstorms that do pop up, they'll be gone by the time we head after midnight tomorrow night. As we go into Wednesday, we get northerly winds, so we drop back upper 60s by the time we head into Wednesday morning. And then once we get into Wednesday afternoon, a little bit cooler. High temps, upper 80s to near 90 degrees, plus our humidity will be a little bit lower for us as we go into Wednesday afternoon. All right, day planner for you tomorrow. A few scattered showers in the morning, a lot of clouds by noon, 88 up to 95 by 4 p.m., high temp of 96, scattered thunderstorms popping up along and south of the I-44 corridor for us tomorrow afternoon. 96 tomorrow, 91 on Wednesday, so a little bit cooler. Ooh, I forgot to take off that Labor Day, it still jumped on there. Thursday is not Labor Day. Some scattered thunderstorms popping up late Thursday into Friday morning. But look at this. Highs only into lower 80s next week, so at least we're going to cool down a bit.
Sounds good to me.
Yes, it
Thanks,
does.
Doug. Coming up, a popular freezer food is being recalled. We'll have the details. Topping today's Consumer Watch, American's largest airline is going to court to try to stop a website from promoting a travel hack known as skip lagging. It can be cheaper to take a flight with a connection where the layover is the traveler's actual destination. Chris Van Cleve has more.
Cassie Oran had skip lagged before without a problem, so she booked a far cheaper flight to Boston with a connection in Washington. She planned to get off in D.C. to see her mom.
I had this weird thing on my boarding pass that I've never had before. It said to go see an agent, and they're like, well, just so you know, if you do not go to Boston, then you will be banned from American Airlines forever.
American Airlines declined to comment on Iran's situation, but is now suing Skiplagged, which claims thousands of flyers a day are taking advantage of what are sometimes called hidden city tickets. American claims the site deceives the public with claims of access to some kind of secret loophole, but argues the website doesn't always save flyers money, alleging many of the fares displayed are higher than on the American website. The airline also says tickets issued by Skiplagged are at risk for invalidation. Airline industry analyst Henry Hartevelt says skiplagging violates the rules flyers agree to follow when they purchase a ticket.
Airlines are going to take every step they can to protect their businesses. They don't like the use and abuse of hidden city fares.
Skiplagged settled earlier lawsuits by Southwest and Orbitz. United had its case thrown out. That was in 2014 when website founder Akhtar Zaman was profiled on CBS Mornings, running the business out of his small New York apartment. In a statement, Zaman tells CBS Mornings, "We will be fighting this ridiculous lawsuit until the very end to protect consumer rights to the lowest airfares."
I was able to cancel the ticket. I bought a different, much more expensive ticket on a different airline and then still made it to Washington. I just ended up, it's like I used Skiplag to pay less and I ended up paying a lot more.
Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, Phoenix.
ConAgra Brands is recalling more than 245,000 pounds of frozen chicken strips because they could contain plastic. The affected cartons say banquet chicken strips meal on them. They have best if used by dates of December 11th, 2024, January 1st, 2025, or January 7th, 2025. There has been at least one reported injury. Anyone with the recalled product is urged to throw them away or return them to the store. Tens of thousands of high chairs sold in the U.S. and Canada are being recalled. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says 83,000 Tommy brand chairs are a fall hazard. According to the recall, the bolts used to secure the seat to the base can become loose and allow the seat to detach. There have been at least 24 reports of falls. 11 of them resulted in injuries. The chairs were sold at Bed Bath & Beyond, Target, Toys R Us, Walmart, and Amazon. The company says anyone who wants to keep using the high chair can order a repair kit. Final check of the forecast next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, this cool cat and her owner are bringing children's vision into focus and helping kids adapt to their new glasses. And then on KOAM News at 6, we'll introduce you to one of our newest team members, reporter Anthony Saviello. Plus, Fort Scott, a National Historic Site, held an exploration of the labors and leisure on the 1840s frontier post. And the community of Uniontown comes together for a Labor Day picnic celebration. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6.
Well, it looks pretty good if you want to get outside this evening. It is a little bit on the hot side. We're going to slide back through the 90s. A few pop-up thunderstorms late tonight into tomorrow morning. So we're going to start the day with a few random showers and then a few thunderstorms again tomorrow evening, mainly along and south of the I-44 corridor, but still kind of hot this week. High temps in the lower 90s.
At least we're getting some rain, though.
That is true.
Well, thanks for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next. Of course, we'll be right back here for KOAM News at 6. We'll see you then.